Thank you. Can I get that? Hey, a little bit down. Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone in the live chat. We're gonna hold out a few minutes because I want everyone to participate in this. This is going to be a good lesson, a good message today, and I want to see how uh, we're going to see how the word of the Most High Yah, the difference in when you're taught by the Spirit versus when you're taught by man, and how they can flip the script. Okay, so I'm gonna hold out a minute until we get others online to come in, and this is going to be really good because I had been dealing with this myself, and I totally got off the topic because I felt like Solomon tells me Deborah is vain and vats, but I think it would bless someone else, even though I'm where he has brought me. I feel that there are those that's out there that the Most High gonna take deeper into what he need in this day. Oh yes, without a doubt. He didn't let me see that 18 years ago for nothing. And they're gonna be the ones that's gonna have that bold and strong message, and they're not gonna smile, and they're not going to take anything, y'all. And when people start talking to them and communicating with them, they're going to look them dead in the eye and tell them righteousness. They're going to speak righteous. They're going to speak truth, and they're going to be about just. And it's just going to be beautiful. But it's going to be those who the Most High has planned for that day, which is now. Oh yes. See, we thinking that he don't have no backup crew. See, I know he got a bad. I'm not the backup crew, but I know he got the backup crew, and I'm not the backup one, but I know that he have many backup crew that's gonna come, but they coming with a different message, and they message is no playing, y'all. You ain't gonna see them smile and grin, and they gonna be speaking that word like a two-edged sword. They just gonna put it out in a way that you're gonna been and heard it, but you're gonna be trying to figure out. Wait a minute. I heard this before, but look how they putting it out. Look how they saying it. Because that's how the Most High has prepared them for the end days. And they got some endurance up against them, but they can do it. They were prepared for this day. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's many that's even on this uh, 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 live screen that even heard the voice out of my mouth. I wouldn't be surprised because I'm looking at the idea. Wait a minute, he told me this 18 years ago, and he already let me know they coming. So I have to be salute them. I have to have respect for who they are in Yah. It ain't about Sister Deborah. It ain't about me being boosted, uplifted, and pride minded. Look, I'm waiting for that bold crew. I love to salute them because I know that the boldness of the Most High Yah is embedded in them, and they ain't gonna play. Now, if you can, we're gonna tackle this. Hello, everyone in the live chat. I'm glad to see everyone here, and I first want to say that we're gonna come from Genesis chapter 1. No. Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. And then we're going to swim over to Matthew's chapter 24, 37, and 39. Then we're going to swim over to Luke chapter 17, verse 26 through 30. And then we're going to dive a little deeper in First Peter chapter 3, verse 20. And then we go come back to the surface in Genesis chapter 7, verse 1. And what we're going to do, we're going to get some understanding of what it's going to be like the days of Noah. This here day that's going to take place, it's going to be like the days of Noah. And we're going to dive into it, and we're going to get some understanding. Again, hello everyone in the live chat. It's good to see everyone here, and I'm going to wait a few moments and see if we can get a few more people in. But if anyone has anything they want to talk about or speak on, just shoot out. You can go on. We're going to get to this here a message real soon, but we still got time. We're going to wait till we get a few people in, and if they don't come in, guess what? We're going to roll on. We're going to get some understanding out of this. Yes, we're going to get something out of this here message. Okay, anybody got anything? Oh, I've been fine. I broke my toe. And the doctor said it's going to take 6 weeks to heal. And I said, 6 weeks? Who got 6 weeks? You know? And I've been going ever since. Yes, praise the Most High Yah. Yes, he's our all in all. All right. 6 weeks. But it ain't gonna be no 6 weeks with me. You know, they can't hold me down too long. Yeah. But I'm feeling fine, and all is well. And I thank the Most High Yah, because instant when I hit it, I saw it break, and instant I knew that I broke my toe. I was like, it was at nighttime. I was on live, and I broke my toe. I'm like, no, I didn't. Was I on live? I think I was. And I broke it, and I said, oh, because I'm a individual, is called high tolerant. I'm very high tolerant to pain, and that's not a good thing. It can appeal to be good. It's not a good thing, because as I get older, it seems like the littlest pain is what I can feel. And the major pain, I can bypass it, because when I hit my toe and I saw my toe going this way, and I'm about other toes going, I said, oh, I broke my toe. And I got right back on. I think I was on live that day. I got back on and continue what I was speaking about, because it was in pain, but it was something that I could put up with. So it didn't bother me. So we got a few more people in. And again, we coming from Genesis chapter 1. Verse 1. Then we're going to dive in Matthew's chapter 24, 37 through 39. Then we're going to go to Luke chapter 17, verse 26 through 30. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into First Peter chapter 3, verse 20. And we're going to come up out of the water in Genesis chapter 7, and verse 1, and we're gonna be finished. All right, so let's go over that, y'all. This is going to be kind of something that I want everybody to participate in, and tell me, you give me your insight or your feeling in the spirit of what is being said. Okay, and we're gonna start with Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. I want you all to understand, when this happened, this was when Noah and the ark, okay? When Noah found grace with Yah, okay? And when Yah decided that, okay, that's it, I'm ending this thing. We want to ask the Father tonight if he would suffer us to be so close to him, to understand what was really going on that day, that's going to match the day in which we are in and that is coming. if he would suffer us to get the fullness of that, because what it would do, it would prepare us for what is before us and what is to come. You see, back during Noah time, he was out back and forth pleading with the people, telling them it didn't pay, it didn't matter, it didn't matter. But we asking the Most High to reveal to us this day and what is about to happen in this day, in the days that we are facing. And I want to tell you that when you hear what is said, try to feel Yah in this. Not what you were told, what you were taught, what you were precept to understand, a line here and a little. Just try to understand where the Most High Yah is coming from. Not what Sister Deborah is coming from, but where Yah is coming from with this. Okay. And we're going to Genesis chapter 6, verse 1. And it says, and it came to pass when men, you notice it said men. Okay. So when it says men, it's talking about males. Okay. Began to multiply on the face of the earth. So now it's a time period where a lot of men were multiplying, meaning there was a lot of males born and the earth was full of men. Okay. And the daughters were born unto them. Now these men were taking on pregnate women and having lots of daughters. Okay. And they began to have daughters more so than they probably were, or around about the same amount as they were having males. They were having daughters. And the reason why I say they was having males, because it says men began to multiply. So here it is on the face of the earth. So it says here, and daughters were born unto them. Daughters were born unto them. Daughters is females. Okay. Now, when they saying daughters were born unto them, I'm looking at the idea. These were young girls. Okay. That were being born. These weren't, and I think these were virgins. So that's why I know that they were young and they were virgins. Okay. And they were being born unto them. Now, do you all would you all have any input on that verse alone? Okay. Okay. So let's go from there. Verse 2. This Genesis chapter 6, verse 2. That the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Do anyone understand that? Let's read that again. That the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men that were very fair, that they were fair, which looked at really nice. Okay. I'm going to tell you something about these daughters. They were young. They were virgins. They were very, very young. Okay. And they took them wives of all which they chose. What do you all think was going on then during that time? Anyone in the live chat? I like that. See how you snatched that? They took wives of those girls. Thank you, baby. You see how you broke? You see how now? Do you see how you took that verse and just cut it in half and just cut the cheese and say, okay, bam, this is what it said? You are exactly right. They took wives of those girls. And how many? Many as they please. Do anyone see that? Can anyone else tell me what is going on in verse 2 in Genesis chapter 6 and verse 2? What would you say that is actually going on in verse 2? Anyone else? Oh, baby, you nailed it. They took the wives. They took wives of those girls. Exactly. See how you nailed it? It didn't even take the whole paragraph for you to just make it out of one sentence. That's how simple it is. Okay. Now in rebellion. Okay, in number 2, verse 2. If you have your Bible, look at what it says. That the sons of Yah saw the daughters of man, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Multiply wives. They had no choice. Wait a minute. Multiply wives. They had no choice. Could you explain that? Multiplied wives. They had no choice. No, multiple wives. They had no choice. Can you kind of expound on that? Many wives, like they do now, force them. That we going there. You already there. See there? You already know. When we finish, you're going to say, wait a minute, Sister Deborah. He prophesied exactly what the Hebrew Israelite men have been teaching, and that they were going to do this because it's going to match up to the days of Noah. We got to first understand what is actually taking place. Yes, they had many wives. Yes, they had many wives, but this is what happened. In verse 2, that the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Okay. The girls had to go with them. Yes, they did. No choice. Is that what you were saying? Okay, good, very good. They didn't have no choice. They didn't have a choice in this matter. Matching, definitely is matching. Wait till you finish with it. You will say, wait a minute. They took as many young girls as wives. Exactly, like polygamy. That's what they're doing. They wrapping into what they're doing now. Exactly what's going on now. But don't forget, keep in mind, they stepped on the foot of Yah. They stepped not on one of his foot, they stepped on 2 of them. When Sister Deborah, where you get that from? He in the world. See, they didn't tell y'all that, did they? They didn't tell y'all, is this what cranked up the ideal of him in the world? Because of what was taking place right here. Y'all don't get it, do you? We gonna get into it, so we gonna get it before this here whole thing is over. Yes, that was is forced them into that. Yes, they forced them into that. Back then, females didn't have. They were like animals. You see, they were sold like animals. So that's why I don't listen to brothers come talk about they took our wives and they raped our wives and they sold our children and they sold our wives and our family. What are you talking about? Want me to tell you what I'm saying? Let's see what the prophet is saying here. The fathers were. Yes, they were. Okay, sister, you better wait a minute now. You going? Wait a minute. You in there now? You in there because they gave their daughters to be married. Yes, they did. You hear what the prophet say? She said, the fathers were a part of it too, because they gave their daughters to be married. For what? Prostituting them, y'all. This is what they were doing. For money. See, that's what they always did in the Bible, y'all. They sold their daughters for this. Their daughters was just cattle. Their daughter was just like selling animals. That is not of Yah. Never been from the beginning. Where do you hear him said in Genesis all the way to Revelation to sell your children? You see? So back in the Bible days, you got it. You definitely got it. You got it. They didn't have a voice. You're right. Nope, they didn't. They sold them. They sold them to him. See, you remember when Abraham sent his servant to go get Isaac a wife? If you all could count what Abraham's son with his servant to give to her brother or her father, but I don't think her father was living, so he gave it to her brother for her so that Isaac can have her. Marriage back then was when you take money and wealth or whatever you have, turn it over to the man, and then you get the daughter. That's why that's why they wanted virgins. They wanted something that wasn't touched, because if they're gonna pay for it like that, you're gonna give me something that ain't been touched. That's why. You see how you all do not understand something. You all don't understand how Yah created this thing. And it's messed up from the floor up with him knowing that it would be. That's why he brought that mess that started in the heavens, brought it on down to the earth, so it can show up and show out, and then he can say, you here and you here, out of my face now. But if you think I'm going to leave you up in my kingdom cutting up from the floor up, you's about to lie. I'm going to send y'all butts right down on that earth and let y'all cut up from the floor up there. You ain't going to be up here doing that. And when you finish, I'm going to send you to a place that you're going to torment. And I'm going to bring on down a new Jerusalem, a new heaven. Because this one right here, yeah, a lot of people don't understand. It's tainted. Because the mess that started up there, that end up down here. Sold them to men for pleasure. Why do you think it says they took them wives of all which they chose? Okay? Having daughters to sell to men for money. Exactly. That's why the daughters were being born, y'all. So that the more daughters, the more wealth. Because they sells them to them. They was just like on a auction block. You know how they talk about how they were selling slaves? So that's why y'all don't listen to them. We can't say nothing to the Most High, y'all. That's why when you go before y'all, hang your head and don't you say nothing. Hang your head with humility, shame, and repentance. Don't go up there trying to rumble with him and tell him nothing. We ain't got nothing to say to him, because he saw the things that we have done in life for thousands of years. Our forefathers, our fathers. He didn't seen it all. And now we want to stand before him and buckle up like we somebody. Sit down. And that's what they were doing. No, baby, you said they are the sick. That's what all of them was doing back then. And they were calling themselves we the people, just like your brothers are doing today. That's very sick. That's why they don't like the law. And I don't know if y'all know what brother, I don't even call him no brother, Polite is doing. And what's the other guy that was the singer that just went to court and serving time? He didn't see nothing wrong with it. See, what people don't understand is this, y'all. And I'm going to tell y'all sisters this. You don't really understand. They've been doing this to our babies. Soon as the baby come out, they'll start messing with them at 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5. Y'all don't listen to what the cries of the people have been. When you are an ear to hear, when y'all have blessed you to be able to discern, and you are an ear that you hear the stories of yesterday. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's sad. Do you cry all the time? Because there's nothing you can do about it. You are created to have the ear to hear really what it is. What's been going on? It's been going on. When I was working at Christ, these women were telling me, they was older than I was. They was telling me, it wasn't not one that was coming to me, wanting me to minister to them about how their mother and grandmother let their grandfather and father rape them throughout 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 7 years old. Because this been going on since biblical time. Who knows what verse we're in? We're in the beginning. Genesis. The more daughters, the more money. That's what Yah is trying to get you all to see in this verse. Don't believe these Negro men in this Hebrew Israelite movement. They covering up mess to make it look good. But Sister Deborah wants you all to hear this here, because I think this is a really good topic that we need to just cover so we can understand why he's getting ready to throw up and throw down, because they still thinking they got away with it. And that's why they all running around here talking about polygamy and Pastor Dow talking about he's breeding virgins. We got virgins here. Oh yeah, you got them. Keep them there. Hold up 1 minute, brother. You ain't seen nothing yet. He's visiting. He's going to visit you in a way you ain't never been visited, because he's been doing it for so long, been getting away with it, been breaking up homes, been breaking up fathers and mothers, been breaking up daughters from their parents. He been doing it for so long and it got away with it. But y'all said, Deborah, stand down on this now. Stand down. My judgment's in the midst. It's going to visit his door as well. See, they think they're getting away with it. Okay, it's very sick. But see, keep in mind, we're gonna cover this, y'all. But you got to keep in mind, this was at the beginning. I don't think y'all get it. This was at the beginning, y'all. This is at the beginning, y'all. This is at the beginning. This is way back thousands of years ago. Why wouldn't they be doing it today and more? Yes. If any of you all decide to be a spiritual counselor, you're going to cry many nights. You're going to hurt many days, because you're going to realize that these people been hurting for hundreds of years. These things been happening. No, they're not going to say anything. They're not going to do anything. Mom and grandma and auntie, they were silenced by beating, by being threatened, being told they would kill them. Because back then, even in our grandparents' days, a lot of things took place like that. And we can call them sick. This is beyond sick, baby. This is beyond sick. See, because sick can be healed. Hallelujah. But evil don't have a chance, not even in hell. See, there's a difference between sick and evil. There's a lot of them doing it. Like I said, when you become, if any one of you all become a spiritual counselor, really digging deep in listening and having an ear to hear, that's what you call give and gauge. You give somebody your ear to hear, and they sit and they tell you, when I had to go through this and I had to go through this. And when you begin to hear what they say, you be saying, what? You don't want to say it like that in front of them. You want to hold your composure. And what happens is Ruach will help you put it in order. But when you get home, you be like, what? You wouldn't believe it, because a lot of women think that stuff doesn't exist. When if you had 185 been through it. So we're gonna go up again. Yes, it's worse now. Yeah. What's it? Kurt Frank? What's his name? Whatever that other man named Kelly. What is his name? Whatever his name is. Art Kelly. Now, how would Art Kelly? He's doing it like, what's wrong with it? I don't see nothing wrong with it. This other polite guy, he took a lady's 14-year-old daughter and just had his way. He don't see nothing wrong with it. He walking around here, got these men thinking that it was all well, and can't nobody do nothing to him. Okay, they don't understand. The powers that be been doing it for so long, thousands of years, to the point where they will hang you dry while they continue to do it. So Art Kelly, that's his name, and Polite. If you all get on YouTube and hear, they call him Brother Polite, and hear his case. But what I'm saying is, Negro men thinking it's okay because the white man been doing it for years. But what the Negro men and the Negro women, the Hebrew Israelite women and the Hebrew Israelite men don't understand that every ugly wickedness starts with them as a nation. We don't get it. We don't get it. That's why he said in Leviticus, accept my judgment on your body. Accept it. Yeah, I'm coming to judge the house of Israel. Bow down to it and accept it. Don't walk around and think that, oh, you're not entitled to be judged. Oh, you ain't done nothing to be judged. Accept my word. Say I was going to visit the whole house of Israel and judge them first. Get with the program. Know that the judgment of the Most High God is in the midst of you, whether you like it or not. Oh, yes, it might seem like you got it going on. But a lot of it you all don't know and cannot see how it's about to play out. It's worse. It's because we keep turning a deaf ear and a blind eye. You know, we act like, and what they doing with R. Kelly and Brother Polite is they going to use them like the mop that they are. They going to take them like a mop and mop their tails up and look back and say, we've been doing it forever. Europeans been doing it, and especially, how would I say it, these Jewish underground power that's ruling the world. Baby, they do it to newborns. They love boys more than they do girls, but they do it to the babies. You see what I'm saying, y'all? If y'all only knew what is truth, you know, and this is what gets Deborah, is what we finna sum this thing up. Let's go back to Genesis. Let me see. Yeah, they getting caught up. I am that I am. Let his will be done. Yes, yes, Father, y'all. Let your will be done. Oh, then guess what, y'all? We don't even need to tell him let. Because when he created the beginning, he said let, and it was. He said let, and it was. And he saw that it was good. He said let, and it was. He said let, and it was. Today, we don't need to tell him to let. Bless his holy name. Because right now, everything that is, that was, he'd already seen all this, y'all. He's seen every baby, every girl that was sold and sex trafficker. That's why, y'all, the United States have been the biggest sex traffickers on the face of the earth. Always been. This stuff is going on, y'all, whether you know it, you like it or not. This is why my father has to do what he got to do. And all I wanted to say is to him, I salute you, Father, in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, that HaMashiach great power. I salute you because I know it's his will from the beginning to the end, to the in between, all the way to the end. It's finished. He's seen this stuff, y'all, from the heavens. He knew what when he created the wicked for the days of evil. He knew it didn't start today. He knew where it was. And he knows who's his. Now, we got to get back to this message because guess what? It's going to take us somewhere we ain't never been. And in Genesis chapter 6, that one verse, it says, Genesis chapter 6, verse 2, that the sons of Yah. Now, no. The sons of Yah. Now, who is the son of Yah? His judgment. That's right. Salute his judgment. Let him know that, hey, we all for your judgment, Father. If it got to pour out on us, we all for it. Salute his judgment. Your will, Father, in your judgment. You know, that just salute, just everything you do, you know. That's why some of them said, "Thou know everything." They didn't turn around. They wouldn't even answer Yah's question. They tell him, "You know everything." Ezekiel, he said, "Ezekiel, can these dry bones live?" Ezekiel said, "Thou know it," because he know what you gonna answer for. He know it. What he had told Peter, feed my, do you love me? And Peter said, I know all things. Because it's just like, he asking you something he already know. Okay, now in Genesis chapter 6, verse 2, it says that the sons of Yah, who is the sons of Yah? Right, his angels. That's right. They're fully recognized as the light. You see? You know how he said he created the wicked for the days of evil? Okay, when you bump back up here where he says, and it came to pass when the men began to multiply, those men were not sons of Yah. You see, they evil intent. You see, so they were evil from the going. They were multiplying. And then it says in verse 2 that the sons of Yah saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. Now, you got to understand, they only began to do the things that they saw men doing anyway. And God said, oh, hey, wait a minute, they doing that. Wait, I want a piece of the pie too. I'm going to do this too. And this, you all, hear me, y'all, hear this here. This is what caused the Most High Yah to end the world. And if y'all cannot see the power in that, something is wrong. For a creator to say at the beginning of the creation, I'm finna end it right here. We're in the book of Genesis, the 2nd chapter. How, Father, are you going to end the world and you just begun? Oh, no, Deborah, I didn't like what it looked like. What was going on was too deep for me. Let's see what he's talking about. Verse 3, are you all there? Verse 3, it says, and Yah said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Didn't I tell you your worstest enemy is flesh? Your worstest enemy, as long as you live, would always be your flesh. He's telling you right there what no Hebrew Israelite men on this devil platform have ever taught you all, that you are flesh and spirit. Yes, I've said it many a time, but see, they won't tell you that. They don't let you know that. That flesh of man, that was the son of Yah, that flesh overruled spirit that was within them, and they had the spirit which Yah had given them, but they took on the flesh. That's what he said. Let's go to 3 again. Okay, here we go. Verse 3, and Yah said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yea, his days shall be 120 years. Do y'all see that power in there? Do y'all see the power that's in there? Yah cut life off. He shortened it in the midst of him getting ready to destroy the whole world. He still shortened life. He not only shortened it then, he shortened it forever. Even after he destroyed the world, he still put a short number on life. Let's go back there again. And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man. Man is a spirit, and Yah's spirit abide in his spirit. But when man chooses, not when I say chooses, listen to this, the flesh to override the spirit, and the choice is not like a mind choice. This is like it was. Now, do not think that Yah didn't know that he was going to destroy the world. He knows everything. But he's telling us what it is in reality of the heavens as it is on the earth. Why? Because heaven knew about this here, y'all, before it hit the earth. Earth knows after heaven is fully aware. Okay, so here he says in verse 3, and Yah said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Once he does not have that of Yah, and he have turned his spirit in to serve his flesh, now he should know who he represents now. He should know whose side he's on. That's why a lot of people say, I got the choice. I can choose. I don't have, this is my life. Yeah, you got that choice because your choice is already predestined to hell. So if you do the things that takes you there, because you already know that's where you're headed. So that's your choice to know that, Okay. Now, and he says, yet his days shall be 120 years. He cut life, y'all. He didn't just cut life during Noah time. He cut life forever. Now listen to this, y'all. How did he say that his days shall be 120 years if he's getting ready to end it? Yes, it took, I think, like 40 years, but why was he saying that his days shall be 120 years? How can he say that when he's getting ready to destroy the whole world? Huh? Because he knew he was going to destroy the world, and it's going to also come back again. He knew that. In the midst of him telling you, he even cut the age down. So what he's saying to us, y'all, this is what I didn't like. Yes, I saw it from heaven, but when you see it being performed, I saw it then, I see it now, and I'm going to cut it out right now. He can do that. So he ended. Okay, verse 4. There were giants. Hear this, you all. Hear this here. This is very important in this topic. Watch this here. There were giants in the earth in those days. Okay, the giants is being revealed as if these are those that were there during those days. It ain't saying no woman laid down with no giant. That's what the ignorant men want you to think. The giants were evil and wicked, and that's why they took the daughters. You know, if you all could get on YouTube and hear these men teach this message here, it'll blow your mind. You'll say, well, how did they get away with what they were doing? They take it out of the contents that what men were doing, and they blame it on the giants. So I want you to look at that. Anyone here on the live chat, let me know right here where it says in verse 4, there were giants in the earth in those days. And also after those days, when the sons of Yah came into the daughters of men. Is it saying it was the giants? Anyone in the live chat? Yes, he knew it was going to happen. Anybody in the live chat, did you get that one? Listen to it again. There were giants in the earth in those days. In what days? He said in those days. In these days in which the men were cutting up from the floor up. You had giants in these days. And also after that, when the sons of Yah came into the daughters of men, and they bare children unto them. And the same became mighty men who were of old, men of renown. So what is it that this was? This had nothing to do with the sons of man and had nothing to do with man, but it's all about the giants. That's the way they teach it, y'all. They teach this thing as if it was the giants' fault. That's why y'all end the world. I'm waiting for someone in the live chat to cover that in. Did anyone get that? But do you see where it says back? It says in 4, there were giants in the day, in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of Yah came into the daughters of men. Just because it tells you that there was giants in those days, he didn't end the world because of what the giants was doing. That's the way they teaching it, y'all. That's what they teaching. to throw everybody off of what men and son of Yah was doing. So they turned it over to, oh, it was the giants. It's what they were doing. And I'm going to show you how they lied and still lying to this day. Okay. Now, we have to go to verse 5. In verse 5, Genesis chapter 6, verse 5. And Yah saw that the wickedness of men was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thought of his heart was only evil continually. Did anyone get that? Did anyone get that? Let me see what the one said about giants. Exactly. How can you where do you think why would they lie on the giants? That's what gets me. I cannot believe I've heard too many Hebrew Israelite men teach this thing, y'all. And they blame all the things on the giants. And it does not say that. Before and after, that's what it says. So why do you think that they would say it's the giants were having children by the daughters? Why would they say that? Okay. Yes, they were. That's what it says. That's right. Not it says that, but I just don't understand. When I say I don't understand, I'm trying to get you all to the point where you can see what is taking place and why it's going on. It's because the whole thing being lied. They do not want to see themselves, because if they will own up to what took place in the days of Noah, what did it say that's going to happen in these days to come, y'all? It's going to be what? Like the days of Noah. You see, it's going to be like what? The days of Noah. And then we're going to read what is he saying. Father, Yah, what are you saying? And we're going to connect the two. We're going to connect Genesis with Matthew's chapter 24 and Luke 17. Yes, they said because the giants had some connection to Yah ending the world, because they was having babies by the women. You should have, I'm telling you, it. Oh. It doesn't say it. So I just don't see how they get it. I don't see where they get it. And that's what he said. Listen to this. He said, in verse 5, Genesis chapter 6, verse 5, and Yah said that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of their thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. Hey, y'all, I got to end it right here. I'm finna end this thing. That's what he did. That's what it was all about, y'all. So if you ever wonder why is it going to repeat itself, because Yah is sending a message to you and everybody out here. The same mess that happened once before that caused me to end it, it's going to cause me to remind me to go straight into ending it. I'm just not going to do it by water. I'm going to bring down fire. You see? But they thinking they're escaping. So you can go get you a church, and you can get you a church form. You can get you what you want, and you can breed virgins. You can breed whatever you want. Y'all gonna visit you before the fire come down, because there is a spiritual fire out right now, called the judgment of the Most High Yah on the whole house of Israel, and everybody acting as if they don't feel it, and that scares me more than anything, because I can see it. That means when it comes, and they come for you, and these things are all up on you, crawling all up on you, and and everything is just caving in. No, that you have not escaped the judgment of Yah. It was present and it's coming for you. Okay, now we're gonna go, and Yah is saying he told us why he ended. He sat and told us. Y'all, he told us why. Why do we sit today, watch these things happen, and turn a deaf ear and a blind eye as if these things ain't still happening and worse? We are ignore. We sitting around and time we waiting for Babylon. He coming to take us away to the new the promised land. But because we're just so mixed up in what's actually is going on. Okay, so we're going to see deceiving people and covering it up what they did. Oh yes, and they doing it. It can't even be covered up, baby. They doing it all out in the opening now. Okay, we finna go there, y'all. Let's go to Matthew's 24 and 37. There is a mystery in Matthew's 24 and 37 through 39. I'm gonna see if y'all gonna spot it. The mystery. There is a mystery in Matthew's chapter 24. And I'm wondering if you all gonna spot it. And even if you don't, it's still okay. It's still okay. Matthew's 24, verse 37. Matthew's 24, verse 37. That's where we're going to start. Matthew's 24, verse 37. And this is Yeshua HaMashiach speaking. But as the day of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Okay. Now, what it's saying is the coming of the Son of Man, these things are going to be already taking place. The Son of Man, Yeshua, when he come to get what's his. These things going to be taking place. How long, Deborah? Thousands of years, and it's still going on today. That's why he can tell you today it's going to be. He prophesied. Y'all, it ain't just because I ended then, don't think it's gone. Just like homosexual in Sodom and Gomorrah. It ain't go nowhere. Don't you see what your brothers are doing now? It never went nowhere. See, we so out of spirit and truth, we can't see that it's rumbling like it did back then as it is now. And listen to what he says. Matthew's 24, verse 37. But as the day of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. And this is Yeshua telling you, when I come back, it's going to already be like the days of Noah. And if you think for 1 minute that ain't happening now and ain't been happening, all these thousands of years, it ain't going nowhere. It's always exists and worse. It's just people tends to turn a deaf ear and a blind eye. A lot of people have not learned to love people, and love of Yah is to give and give. They haven't given an ear to hear. People cries. You see, no one cares. It's like, if it ain't in my household, I don't care. But you just don't know. It is in your household. You're still too blind to see it. You see, even if it's your grandmother, let her tell you the story. Let your mother tell you what happened to her brother and her sister now. It'll blow your mind. And today, it's been living in darkness, all this stuff. But he says, but as the days of Noah, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. What do you mean? What do you think he mean, the days of Noah? Watch this. For as in the days that were before the flood. Before. Before, not during the flood, but before the flood. We just read the things that was going on. Before the flood, okay? They were eating and drinking. And that's what a lot of these Hebrew Israelite movement is doing. They are feasting. They are blowing the trumpet. They are holding all these holy days and all these things. It's vain and vast. Y'all said, put that horn down. He don't hear it. How dare you blow a horn when he just sent his prophets to tell you the judgment is in the midst of the house of Israel. And you're out there blowing a trumpet. You're out there feasting. You're out there partying, hardying, and drinking. There are so many on this devil platform teaching y'all day by day by day. Be up there on Sabbath, and they don't see no problem with drinking while they teaching you. I see them. I'm just one that ain't going to deny that I don't see them and turn my head this way and be listening to what they say. I see them. I hear them. I know what they are doing. It's being shown. It's not something under the table. They got it all bottles and drinks and cups. You don't need a cup drinking as you talking. No, not like that unless you got a cup of coffee. That's in the morning. There's something's going on, y'all. Now listen to what it says. Verse 37, Matthew 24 and 37. But as the days of Noah, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the day, 38, for as in the days that were before the flood, y'all, they were eating, drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage. You know what that was, y'all? The way they were marrying back in the days. You remember where he said they was taking wives as many as they please? He's sitting here telling you polygamy is going to be going on in these days. But they totally against y'all. Why? Because the days of Noah. So when they want to justify, clarify, and identify to you, the forefathers did it, and if they did it, he didn't tell us we couldn't. What you mean he didn't tell you he couldn't? He in the world. He in the world on polygamy. Do y'all not see that? Taking wives as many as you please. You don't see polygamy in the first, how would I say it? No, in the chapter of 6 of Genesis, telling you he in the world because of polygamy. Every evil thought, imagination they had, y'all. Stop making y'all a lie so every man can live a lie in their truth. Stop that giving them just reasons. Stop vouching for it. It is telling you right there. Here we go. Verse 38. Matthew 24, verse 38. And it reads, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking. And that's what they're doing today, y'all, with all these feasts, saying they're doing it in the name of Yah. And on this devil platform, cutting their brothers and sisters them up, arguing and debating and diss each other, but then got nerve to blow a trumpet, got nerve to hold a feast. Y'all say, how dare you continue to use his name in vain, what he stand for, and you stand around blowing a trumpet and ain't telling the people the judgment of the Most High God is in the midst of you. Sit your tails down. What your blowing trumpet? Teach these people righteous. You can't. You have forsaken justice. You have forsaken righteousness. And this is what he said. And marrying and giving in marriage. Giving. Remember, the men were paying the men for their daughters, and they were marrying as many as they pleased. They were giving them their daughters for this. And this is what it says: marrying and giving the daughters to the men for this. And y'all said it's going to be giving in marriage. Same thing, y'all. Until the day that Noah entered into the ark. So he's want me to tell y'all something that you didn't catch. Not near one of you caught it. And I'm sitting here saying it. I'm speaking it as pure and bold as possible. And you're not getting it. I feel that you're not getting it. He's sitting here telling us, listen to this here part here, until the day of Noah entered. So he's saying, Yeshua said, they're going to be doing this, Deborah, all the way up until the day that I come. That's what he's telling me. They're going to be doing this here, Deborah, all the way up until the day that I come. Because with Noah, they did it all the way up until when? Noah entered into the ark. So is they going to stop because of what Sister Deborah is saying? If Sister Deborah teach this and show them this, they're going to stop? No stopping, y'all. This wicked created for the evil, it's no stopping. Solomon said, wait a minute, Deborah, you got to understand. Nobody can make the crook straight or the straight crook. It's over. I said, yeah, Solomon, I have gripped that. But seriously, see here, no. I'm going to show you another mystery, y'all. Hold on. Until the days that Noah entered into the ark. So they're going to be doing it all the way up until the day that Yeshua, I'm going to see you come. That's why you see it growing. You see all these men catching on and saying, well, you can have as many wives as you want. And, polygamy is okay. It's acceptable. And they teaching the whole house of Israel, men, in camps, in churches, in communities, everything, that this is what is right. Ain't that deep? It's not that deep. But let me tell you the deeper part. Let me tell you that the mystery in this. Verse 39, it says, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the Son of Man be. They're going to really be thinking, it's on. I'm the one. I'm a chosen one. I'm the vessel. I'm the pastor. I'm the bishop. I'm the Moor. I'm the seer. I'm this and I'm that. I'm the teacher. I'm the leader. All the way up. Listen to verse 39. And then I'm going to see if you can see the mystery. And I'm going to ask everyone in the live chat, what is the mystery? And knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Yep, and they selling them too. They're the one making it work. Our Negro men is the one making it work for the sex trafficking with our teenage our daughters and our young men. The way of our father was not polygamy, no man. You're right, he sure did. But you get them to understand that. But they going in, and he created the evil for the days of wicked. So he said here, if you all heard me what I said in here, it says in 39, they're going to be doing it all the way up until the Yeshua HaMashiach come. So that letting you know, and I know, don't put so much heavy emphasis on it when you know that you know, and you're speaking in spirit and truth. And the spirit and truth is the what? Is what just it said and what it means. It's going to stand on it, no matter what they precept to make it right. No matter what they line, a little here and a little there. You can ride on Torah. You can ride out of Torah. You can go in the old, you can go in the new. You can learn Hebrew and Greek. You can learn all the books that's been missing and all the books that's been found. And when you finish, you ain't going to change spirit and truth. It's going to be, it won't stop. Exactly. And see, this is when you see Sister Deborah is talking, this is what gets me, is because when he's teaching you from the wilderness, showing you this stuff, it's like he's giving you the insight, but it ain't nothing you can do. You see? So just imagine if something is going on in your household and you know that you see it and it's actually happening, but it ain't nothing you can do. Nothing you can say, nothing you can do that's going to change it. That's how deep it is for me. That's why I bring it out the way that I bring it out. That's how deep it is. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you also a mystery in this. Yes, it will. It's going to be worse, Jesse. Yes, I like that. There go they. They're going to get it with the fire. There you go. That's what he said. Because they thinking that he ain't going to do nothing. They thinking that they've been doing it for some. Abraham and Jacob have been doing it. Okay. They was doing that too in the days of Noah. Okay. But did they live? Yes, he is. He has to. Because that's going to be the will of the Father. Yeah, he's going to have to. In verse 39, he's going to have to. And in verse 39, it says, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. They knew not. They knew not until. That means they done it all the way up until to the, yeah, that's just. What is that saying to Sister Deborah? What is that saying to you all? That no matter what we say, how pure and bold and righteous and just it is, we ain't gonna be able to cut them, y'all. We ain't gonna be able to help them. You see what I'm saying? They gonna go straight through the broad gate as if it's the best way, and they go shoot straight on in. That's right. No matter what we say. Now, let me get y'all a little token in here. Now, the men would battle the fact that the giants played a role in them days. They didn't, y'all. Why you say that? Did Yeshua HaMashiach mention the giants when he prophesied this? It's going to be like the days of Noah. That's the mystery. That lets you know the giants didn't have nothing to do with it. That was a man-made lie. You see? Where's the giants in this Yeshua HaMashiach? Where's the giants that was back in them days? Why ain't it going to be like the days of Noah and the giants going to be there? It wasn't included to be in this day because you really had no connection to the reason why he destroyed it yesterday. You see, that's man adding little things that they could see to justify and clarify and identify the sin that they're doing today. That's why. Now notice that. You ain't going to, where's the giants? Yeshua HaMashiach in Matthew 24, 37 down to 39, where's the giants was. If you say Yeshua, it's going to be like the days of Noah, and you justified every verse, and you clarified, and you identified where are the giants. They're not in there. Matthew's, it's not in Matthew's. Yeshua HaMashiach, the son of Yah, ain't talking about. The son of man ain't talking about it. Yeshua, he ain't talking about no giants. Let's go to Luke. Luke chapter 17. Just hear this out, y'all. Just hear this out. Luke chapter 17, verse 26. And I'm going to tell y'all something. People can take verses, line, and make everything right in their own eye. You see? But what y'all say he do? But Deborah, I measure the spirits that got them doing that. He said, everything in a man's eye, which is eyes is where he see in his thoughts, is clean. But guess what, Deborah? I measure those spirits in them. And that's what they did not know. While they making their eyes clean and their thoughts clean in them, y'all said there's spirits detached to them, Deborah. Wicked, evil spirits, I'm measuring those. Since they ain't gonna tell the truth in the spirit realm, I'm gonna measure them spirits in them. And that's what's gonna send them where they going. Now, when you go to Luke chapter 17, when you go to Luke chapter 17, verse 26. Now, hear this. In Luke chapter 17, verse 26, it says, "And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man." So we know Yeshua HaMashiach coming back. We know that without a doubt because y'all's already prepared that. Okay, now watch this here. 27. They did eat. They drank. Now, do you think that we have to eat, y'all? We have to drink water. That's not what he's talking about. See, we can try to walk around here and go to dumb city on everything. The word in this biblical is saying, but the Ruach ain't gonna lie about nothing. He's gonna bust every word out and in, so you won't be ignorant. Now, see, here it said in 27, and they did eat. No, he ain't talking about no basic eating, y'all. He talking about all this mess they doing today, feasting, gathering for every cause that they see fit, trying to pull something out of Torah and trying to pull a mess out of the old and bring it to the day, and their hearts ain't no different than yesterday. Verse 27, they did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were giving in marriage. Now listen, they married wives. He identified polygamy. And then he said they are giving in marriage. Giving in marriage. Because the truth of the matter, y'all, if you go back to Genesis chapter 6, they were taking as many as they pleased because their fathers were giving them to these men as many as they were paying for. Here he says they're going to be giving. They married wives. They were giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark and the flood came and destroyed them all. Verse 28. Likewise also as it was in the days of Lot. They did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, and they plant, and they built. And in all that they were doing, they was abomination. Doing everything against, from lust to sex to everything. Out of control. He's letting you know, I got rid of Lot. I got rid of the days of Noah. If you think for 1 minute I'm not coming, like I did then, I'm coming for you again, because it's doing even greater now. And you're thinking you're going to get away with it. So when these men is on these platforms telling you, it doesn't say we can't marry, and it doesn't say that we can't have as many wives, and we can do this and we can do that regarding the wives. These are the verses that should be given to them. And you know what the Most High just said to me? Deborah, it's vain in the vats. Because they didn't listen to me. They're not going to listen to no one even give them the verses. Because they're not going to see. Because they're blind. They're not going to hear. Because they're deaf. They want so much to rule over the women till they can't even rule their children. They want so much control over the women because they love the feeling of what they read in Torah, to where they want to apply it today, and they're trying to mimic it without the Ruach HaKodesh, nor Yeshua HaMashiach. And y'all's going to stand and let him all the way up until the day when the Son of Man comes. Fire going to hit them every way that they haven't seen the way. Okay. Now, I like this here. And it says in verse 30, we still in Luke chapter 17, verse 30, even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. See, they gonna be doing everything that they figure they can do. It's no need to feast. It's no need to celebrate all these days if our heart's not right with y'all. They're gang banging on these platforms. They're going after each other. They if you all could, but see, like I said, if you could see it spiritually, what's actually taking place. And I sit back and say, these people be eating these people up and don't even see what's behind them. All this gang banging, going up against each other. I'm going to go up against anything that Yah gives me to say. If it's something that someone's doing and it's cutting, because Yah gave it to me, not me, myself. I don't find these ways. He does. Because I don't have a heaven nor a hell to put nobody in. I better hope that I am in the right place. I don't have the time nor the energy. But I speak what Yah gives me and only what he gives me, not what someone else is saying and doing and acting. But I will say this. All this feasting is what he's talking about. Yeshua talked about it. Matthew gave an example and Luke gave an example. But let me tell you what Matthew and Luke had in common. There wasn't any giants. There wasn't anything that identified the giants that connects to the days of Noah. You see? Does that make any sense? So why is it they taking and making it something that it is not, to cover up what really was taking place? And I'm going to tell y'all, they was messing with babies. They were messing with babies. That's what Yah showed me. You can't see it, but I can. He said they was messing with babies. That's how bad it was. They was messing with babies. You go back to the Noah, the day of Lot, Sodom and Gomorrah. If you look there and you read it where it says, the ones that was at the door trying to have sex with the angels and wanting Lot to let them out so they could have them, guess what they says? Young and old men. That means there were young boys out there. All of them. So if they're there trying to have sex with two visitors that's at Lot's house, just imagine what they had already done to their sons. You get it? Because if they hadn't done it to their sons, why are you wanting to get to somebody else and you haven't done it to your sons yet? Yeah, you see? So the Most High, through his Ruach, when he teaches you, he lets you know that this book means a lot to him. Because he can lead you through this. Just like any school you go to, any job, they get you a big old book, a company policy, and stuff that you can read. Guidelines and everything. Well, y'all is saying this here is what I use. Yes, it's been smeared up and down. But when that Ruach comes, it's going to bust every wisdom, every knowledge off out of the ballpark. And it's going to give you understanding of it all. So we can't escape these things. We can't escape these. Charles, answer this here for Jonah. So I say unto you all, we're going to go now just a little down deep. 1 Peter. We're almost there. 1 Peter chapter 3. 1 Peter chapter 3. 1 Peter chapter 3. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 20. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 20. And it reads, which sometimes were disobedient, when once the long suffering of Yah waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was to preparing, wherein few, that is 8 souls, were saved by water. Now this is saying, now I want y'all to hear what the Most High is saying to you all. And it's kind of sad, but he's letting you know that he suffered long. It took Noah quite a long time to build that ark. Within that time, he suffered long. Now hear it, y'all. Remember we talk about long suffering? One of the spirits. Now listen to this. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 20. By which also he went and preached unto, no, that's verse 19. Let me go back again. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 20. Which sometimes were disobedient, when once the long suffering of Yah waited in the days of Noah. Yah suffered long, waiting for Noah to finish that ark so he can do what he was going to do. Y'all if that don't bother y'all, I don't know what will. So what was taking place back then, it had to been a horrible thing. And if you think for 1 minute he did not cover them murdering and them stealing, he covered the fact men messing with them babies, them daughters. Polygamy. So if they ever tell you it's not there, you take them there. It's in there. It caused him to end the whole world. And listen to this here again. I got to go here again. This is what I call diving deep. And I said, 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 20. Which sometimes were disobedient, when once the long suffering of Yah, waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was preparing, wherein few, that is 8 souls, were saved by water. Yah suffered long because he had to wait until Noah completed the ark. Now wait a minute, hold up, Father Yah. Hold up, something wrong with that. You really didn't have to wait. You had all power. You could have caused a boat to come up out of the sea or to fall from heaven. But he wanted you and I to understand. Because of their disobedience, he even suffered long. That suffering long, it was almost like he was waiting for them to do better. And if you think about it, you're suffering long as if you're waiting maybe for them to do better. Because at any time, you could have caused an ark to come up out of the sea or drop from heaven. But you suffer long while Noah built the ark. See, we think this thing is a play. We think it's okay to disrespect him and dishonor him and profane him in any way, in shape, and form of night. You know what? Let me tell y'all another thing. Running around here talking about you the children, you the Hebrew Israelite. I'm connected to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If they could say something, they would say they are very ashamed of who you all are. Abraham would probably spit on you and disown you. Because pretty much Jacob, go back into the book. Y'all read what Jacob was saying about his 12 before he died that day. That day, he wasn't saying nothing good. And nobody, no, you won't get the brothers to teach that with you. No, they ain't no teaching because it's spirit and it is true. So ain't nobody gonna teach that. So I kind of feel sad here in my spirit But I know my Father got all things in control. Ain't nothing going on that he didn't know about. But he wanted, when he said that in verse 20, which sometimes were disobedient, when once the long suffering of Yah waited in the days of Noah, I got to take that and hold dear to that. Because even too, he say, I too shall suffer long. Because I'm sitting here looking at the judgment from the wilderness, trying to figure out, well, wait a minute, Father, y'all, these people acting like it's all good. These Hebrew Israelite movement is going on, moving like it ain't nothing. And all kind of wicked and evil and sin. Father, y'all, give me the strength. Now, we're going to bump this up and out. We're going to Genesis chapter 7 and verse 1. And that's going to end this. Genesis chapter 7, verse 1. Genesis chapter 7, verse 1. Let me read something. That's what he said. Does that make, do that? You see what I'm saying? Because he knows he had to sit and watch what they were doing. That's where the suffering came in, y'all. And they sit around telling you it's okay for them to have wives and a marriage, have as many. Okay, you go on. Because I sat back and watched several of those guys not touch polygamy until they taught it to others, and others got involved, and then that's when they got involved. They had them a second and a third. Oh, they weren't going to touch polygamy until they was able to deceive many. And once they deceived many, they said, okay, looking good. We can convince. We didn't convince. I'm going to step in it too. Okay. Turn from our wicked ways. Yes. Yes, it's sad. It's right. That's really, when you see this, that's what Yah is letting you know. Truth suffers. When you know spirit and truth, you suffer. That's why Sister Deborah can look at and watch this stuff and see these people saying, well, what are they doing? What? Because I'm suffering, seeing what Yah has suffered me to see. And I'm running around trying to figure out why can't nobody else see this. But even though I know in my spirit that you just can't see it unless he's giving you the gift to see it. You just can't know this unless he's giving you the gift to know it. You can't hear this unless he's giving you the gift to hear it. Now, in Genesis chapter 7, verse 1, this is the last verse. And I just found this one because we're coming up out of the water now. And verse 1, Genesis chapter 7, verse 1. And Yahuwah said unto Noah, come thou and all thy house into the ark. For thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation. In this generation. He was found. It was Noah. Now, Yah told him that he was found righteous. All those other people. You see how and why the gate is narrow? You see why? That's why. The gate is narrow. It has a reason why it's narrow. And it's going to remain narrow. And a lot of people thinking that they're going to enter into the broad gate, and then once judgment comes, they're going to come out and they're going to end up in the New Jerusalem. I feel sad for a lot of people. Because I'm going to tell y'all something that y'all do not know. There was 8, if I'm not mistaken, that came out with Noah. But the same sins came out with him. They don't get away. When he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, the sin is resting right here today. That lets you know it came out with Sodom. It came out with Lot. So the sins of those that was committing the sin back in the days of Noah, it came out with Noah. just shut up. Give you an example. When Yeshua was up on, I think it was a possessed man, and the demons knew him and saw him coming, and they pleaded with Yeshua and said, "Are you come to destroy us?" Hallelujah. Before our appointed time. Even the devil knows that my Father rules. Hallelujah. Even the devil knows that my Father Yahuwah rules. Can we go into those herds of pigs? Hallelujah. Did not they go? Drown the pigs and kept it going. You see? So even though Noah came out, he only said Noah was the righteous. He didn't say his seeds were. He only said Lot was the righteous. He didn't say his daughter was. It always escaped. One day I'm going to teach this thing again where you can find out where homosexual started back in Genesis. And it came through the bloodline of the man. That's how Noah was the righteous, but his seeds continued that which was destroyed, the action of those that was destroyed. That's what Ham was able to look on to Noah, the way that he looked at Noah. You see what I'm saying? Y'all don't know what's going on. Hallelujah. Okay, anybody have any questions? Any, before we tune up this here? Anybody have any questions? Would you say Noah's daughter's hot mess? But it comes out, y'all. It comes out. So in my deep studying, the Spirit of the Most High suffered me to know more about homosexual and gay and all of that stuff. So when he sent me to Atlanta, Georgia, one of my purpose for him to educate me on really what was going on, and I had to deal with a lot of gay and homosexual people. I had an ear to hear many of them speak and cry out. What I learned about the daughters were decided to step into that lifestyle for so many good reasons. Let me say that again. Good reasons. When I say good reasons, I don't mean it was right and righteous, but it was a form of surviving and living, being able to live out in spite of committing suicide. So to me, instead of suicide, it's good to live than to take your life. And in the book of Romans, it says, chapter 1, even their women changed the natural use of that which is unacceptable in a sense. But you notice he was speaking because the men had gotten into such a lifestyle. Okay, let's set an example. You remember Lot and how the whole thing about Sodom and Gomorrah was based on the men. Okay, and it always covered the men. Let's go to Lot. When the men wanted the gas that Lot had in his house, which were two angels that was there to bring Lot out, Lot did what? He wanted to give them his daughters. You see? So do y'all see the mind of our men back in the days of Lot? See, a woman was never looked at as any value but this. So when he said, here, you can have my daughters, they have not known a man. This is his blood. But see, that's how they never had a heart feeling for woman then. So when we sitting chasing what they're saying today, trying to make us feel belittle and us this, hey baby, that word speak for itself. It'll walk up you and down you at the same time in spirit and in truth. Then you go to the next a couple of chapters in Judge when the king of Judah had him I think they call it a concubine, and he visited this one man. He didn't visit this one man, allow him to come into his house because the people wouldn't allow them to stay at the inn or or in the city. So the old man said, come to my house and kind of wash up and get you something to eat. So at the man's house, he had his daughter, and the king of Judah, he was an ex-king. He had a concubine, I think that's how they pronounce it. And when the city, the town, the men in the town saw him and his servant come to the elderly house, they knocked on the elderly door and said, send us those men that have come to your house so we may know them. Same way with Lot. See, y'all, this thing's been going on a long time. This has got to do with men. So what happened is, after they kept beating at the door all night, they decide, the elderly man said, you can have my daughter. And the king of Judah, he was wanting them to get his concubine. Y'all can get them. Don't do such foolishness. Now, it's foolish. That's what Lot said. It's foolish for them to have the men. But it's not foolish for you to give your daughter to them. It don't make any sense. Women, they've been like that. I'm going to give you another for show helper right here. When I was counseling the women in Atlanta, they was coming to my store wanting me really to close up early Wednesday to have a place where we can all gather and speak about issues. And I wasn't going to do that because I was dealing with so many different spirits. I was even dealing with men, but it was so many different spirits. They was all over the place. So the Father in the heavens was explaining to me about the beginning of a lot of this. And he said, Deborah, in the book of Genesis, it was said, and it was, and it is, that he was putting something in us to have a desire for our men. Okay? And he left nothing for them to have for us. He said, your desire shall be to your husband, and he shall rule over thee. They took the word rule as if you were property. Okay? You were like cattle. You were like animals to them. Okay? They can have as many as they please in any way that they please. Okay? So what happened, he said, tell the women that it's okay. I said, but Father, you put a desire in them to support their men no matter what, and to love them no matter what. So they got an extra portion. He said, now you hold up now. I'm going to show you where I wipe that away. Just hold up. I said, okay. He said, but I want you to tell them, when I came looking for Adam, I asked him where were he, because he was trying to hide from me. You see, from the Most High God, like as if he can't see all things. And he asked him, in a sense, what was going on. He said, if you go back to Genesis, that man never admit to any wrongdoing. He first blamed, this is what the Father said, he first blamed me, by saying that woman God gave me, and then he blamed her. So he said, you go back and you tell them women, I put a desire in them. So they're trying to figure out, how is it I do this for them? I do this for them. I bought them a car. I bought them this. I give them this. I give them this. I take them on trips. I do everything for him. But he have no feeling, even in how he is treating me. I'm the only one working. I'm the only one doing everything, paying all the bills. All I want to be is loved. Y'all say, you go tell them. In the beginning, in Genesis, I told her, her desire is going to be toward her husband. And anytime a man blame you, know that he has blamed me first, because it started in the garden when I charged him not to do something. And when I came face to face with him, he blamed me for that woman that I gave him, and then blamed her for him taking of what I told him not to. But he said one thing, Deborah. He never blamed himself. So you go back and tell them women, they ain't gonna ever blame themselves. Because this started way back in the Garden of Eve. And if they blamed me first, they're going to blame the woman secondary. And that's it. That's it. It started at the beginning. Everything. That's why when I get in trouble, he takes me right back to the beginning. Because he said they can smear a lot of things. But the way I laid this foundation, I ain't let them mess that up. You see? So he said, you go back and tell them women, it's a desire they have. It ain't that they really love them. It ain't that they really all this and all that over them. These women come here saying the men are beating them, jumping on them, taking all the money, forcing them to take the money out the bank, buying drugs now. All the, he said, it's something I put in them to make them put up with that. He said, now you go and you tell them, it is written that he put something greater onto them to do, to wipe away that desire that we have for men, our husbands. He put something greater in them. He didn't put it in them. He charged them. Love thy wife as Christ loved the church. And what did he do? He laid his life down to the point of death for the church. So he said, tell them don't take it to heart, because I put that desire in them to desire their husband. Tell them I backed him up. I told him, I charged him to love his wife as Christ loved the church. And what did Christ do? He gave his life. And until a man can get to that level, he do not have the heart to love you, because he don't love Christ. He don't love Yahuwah. You see? See, many things are taking place, and we're full of a lot of things, but it is not righteous. We want everything to line up, to be like this and be like that, but lest it fall under spirit and truth, it's all wicked and evil. So those women were so happy. They said, I had never heard of that, like that. And yes, he did put a desire. So all these things that I'm putting up with, getting jumped on, you mean there's something in me? Yes. That desire was desire thy husband in a way that you will put up with his crap and wonder, why I put up with that crap? Why am I doing that? It's something Yah put in you. It don't mean you're supposed to get beaten. It ain't mean you, but that's the desire to just be with him and make things work. Is what Yah put in. And see, they take it as if it's nothing. And when he said, and thou shalt rule he did not mean or crossed everything he said at the beginning when he created he and her and told them what's what, and then turn around and erase the fact that, hey, you're going to rule over her. No, 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 no. That's messed up from the floor up. Go back to Genesis 1 and read that thing again. And you'll see where he put the order. And then when they disobeyed him saying that you shall rule over her wasn't erasing what was in the beginning. It was just letting him know that he should have the first and the last say so. That's it. That's it. But they took it as if you are now their property, you are animals, and this is what you're worth, money. What you can work and labor for. That's what a lot of those wives that they had. They were working together to make everything work so that the men could go around and collect more wives and do nothing. That's what it was. A lot of them was doing. And I love the Most High because you know what? Everything, even the stuff that happened in Noah, all that stuff gonna get judged. All that stuff gonna get judged. Okay. That's right. Let him know. You go to Genesis. It's a desire he put there. He said your desire. So that's something he put there. But guess what he didn't do? Y'all told me to tell those women I didn't curse you to that. Woo, Deborah, you gonna tell it all, ain't you? He said he didn't curse you to that. He cursed the serpent, he cursed man, but he did not curse woman. He even the childbearing and the childbirth, you know, he didn't even curse it. That's why right now you can have a child and don't even feel no pain. And you wonder why. How did he let them come up with that technique? Because he didn't curse you. We don't even know him. We don't know him in the midst of who he really is. We really don't. We know him as man told us to know him, but we don't know him. Yes, Father, yeah. We thank you, Father. In the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, we thank you for suffering us to come together tonight and get a little something out of what you have already spoken. Because we are living in that day, y'all. And if they thinking they gonna escape. But I'm gonna tell y'all, want me to tell y'all what I learned tonight? I'm gonna tell y'all what I learned tonight. I learned something tonight, y'all. I learned something. I learned something. I learned that Yeshua HaMashiach is coming. And he said they're gonna be messed up from the floor up then, just as they did when Noah and the ark, all the way up until that day. So when Yeshua HaMashiach step on the scene, they gonna be rumbling, doing all this mess. And he already said they gonna be doing it like they did in Noah. They didn't stop, Deborah. They was doing it all the way up until the day the door was closed. They're gonna be doing it all the way up until I step out. They're gonna be doing it. And that's when they're gonna be messed up from the floor. So let them continue in their sin, in their abomination. Did you all know our Hebrew Israelite men has a great number that are homosexuals? And then you have a lot of other ones that's practicing it, but not claiming that that's what they are. It is so much stuff going on till it is off the chain. But where it started is where it's going to end. That's why when the Son of Man step out, everything that thought they got away with it or they going to be doing it, they're not going to have a time to even fall to their face and repent. It ain't going to be no more of that. It's too late. And yes, we thank the Most High for who he is all by himself. He's this all by himself. He don't need us to make him who he is. He all that and some. We give him glory, we give him honor, we give him praise at all times. And we thank him for allowing us to come together tonight to just cover this topic. And believe this or not, this was a really good topic for me because it is something that's not easily seen. It is something that you can read and you can go over it, but you can't really see it. It's something that the Spirit of the Most High lets you see the deepness of it and the severity of what is actually took place then and what is taking place now is trying to mimic what took place then because it was prophesied it was going to be like the days of Noah. So today has to mimic what was going on that caused him to end it so he can end it this time too. Yes, Father, yeah. Yes, and we just want to just thank him and give him all praise and glory and honor because he's all that and some. And without him, we are nothing. So, Sister Deborah, if anyone have any questions before we turn off for tonight, and if so, if you still wrote down those verses, just take a look at it and see if he can reveal a little more something to you. Because it's always things to know. That's what the Ruach is. He show you things that's in so far in the deep dark, you wouldn't even know it. Because I learned something today. I learned when Yeshua HaMashiach come, this same crap I'm complaining about that I'm seeing from the wilderness, you mean to tell me, Father, y'all, they going to be doing it all the way up until the end? Yes. I didn't know that, y'all. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I had no idea. So I learned something today, and I thank the Most High for that. So I appreciate you all, love you all, and appreciate you all coming out tonight. And you have a wonderful night. And what else? And we have to find another topic to cover. Someone in the live chat, do y'all have a topic we can cover maybe tomorrow evening? Believe it or not, this was a really, really, really good topic. Because if anybody ever asks you about polygamy, now you can tell them that all you need to do is go to Genesis chapter 6, verse 1 through 5, and see why he ended the world. Mm-hmm. And tell them leave out the giants because that ain't got nothing to do with it. Okay? So let's see here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is so true. All righty. So we're going to end it. And Isaiah, what was that? No, he ain't never been okay with that. And he going to deal with that. He said they're going to be polygamy all the way up until the Son of Man come. We know what he coming to do. So they're going to rise in that too, y'all. They're going to rise in it. And that's why I thought, now this is what I was thinking. A lot of them have kind of weaned away from talking about it, especially a lot of them that was set up on that corner thing. Some of them are winging away, but they still feeding those that's coming in, that same crowd. So I say unto you, love you all. Good night.